like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. Thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Yeah, probably like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
What's up, Who Dat Nation? Shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all for being in this Wednesday Hump Day episode of the Coma. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, where we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports fam. What's popping? Big ups to you guys. Appreciate y'all being in the live. Much love to the fam on this Hump Day edition. Man, listen, man, we talking Saints tonight, fam. So listen, I'm not going to hold y'all very long on this stream, but listen, we got a lot to cover, man. We got some reactions to the interviews for the day. We got news about the Saints dealing with free agent safety Justin Simmons. And listen, Justin Simmons, man, it likes to get paid, but do the Saints can they get a good price? Justin Simmons and Tyrann Mathieu back there takes the Saints defense to another level. It does, but the question is, does the money work? What does the money look like? That's the big question I have, because people have been asking me about this. Q, should we go after Justin Simmons? I say, bro, I like Justin Simmons, but Justin Simmons likes money. And unfortunately, the Saints right now, they kind of, according to Mickey Loomis, who's known to kind of go back on his stuff at times, wants to play this conservative approach, but do they have the proper money to go after it? So anyway, what I did was I put a poll in the chat. I asked the family members, do you think Saints sign free agent safety Justin Simmons on Thursday? Guess what the family members said? So far, man, there's still people tabulating, so y'all get y'all votes in. So far, 79% of the family members says yes, they do. 18%, because the choices are yes and no, and then the third choice is they should sign Alvin Kamara first. But guess what? Only 18% of the people say, hey, man, they should sign him. But 79%, now it's 80, says that the Saints should sign free agent safety Justin Simmons. So we'll see how that all works. 3% of the vote says no, that they don't sign him on Thursday. So big ups to the fam. We'll get into this and also the news and notes of camp day number 12, man. So big ups to you guys. Appreciate y'all being in the stream. Do me a service. Please feel free to smack upon the like button, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you're not a subscriber, and feel free to share the show on your social media feed. If you listen across different platforms, give me a shout out in the chat. I will recognize you. Much love to our family members listening via different streams. I see you, Miss Dixon, over there watching on Instagram among some of the other family members. Big ups to you across the platform. So big ups to you guys and thank y'all for being here. So let's hop right into it, shall we? Let's talk right into it, because this is something that was released. Shout out to Hoodie, man. Hoodie sent me a text last night saying about Justin Simmons. Shout out to my dog Hoodie, man. All right, Saints is hosting free agent safety Justin Simmons. And of course, the latest on the situation that Josina Anderson was dropping down on the scoop. She says, update, I'm told that the current, this has just happened a little more than 60 minutes ago, that Josina says, I'm told the current expectation is that free agent safety Justin Simmons' visit with the Saints will run through the evening and include dinner with some team personnel per source. So we should hear something maybe tomorrow on this endeavor, because usually when they get to talking, they're talking over dinner about cost and price. How much does Justin Simmons make? Now, we did a previous stream where we talked about Justin Simmons and his money, what he made from the past. Of course, he's not going to get nowhere near that. But even if you cut it in half, the Saints idealistically can make it work, but it would go against the philosophy that Mickey Loomis told us that he would be doing at the start of the year, which would not surprise me, being that they were trying to play the conservative game. But also, there are very important factors, and I like Justin Simmons for the right price. There is the signing of Alvin Kamara that the Saints have currently offered or put a offer on the table for Alvin Kamara, and I'm pretty sure his people are probably shot that back to him with a reply on that, and that's working. They're still Paulson Adebo, who I think is the second priority for the Saints in terms of signing, that the Saints might want to be looking at doing. That's probably happen later on in the year, but we'll see how it all works, man. The Saints got a lot on their table. I'm not mad at the Justin Simmons signing if it works for the right price. But we'll see how it works, man. We'll see what's going on. So anyway, this is a little bit here to kind of talk about as we kind of move on there. So a few things. Justin Simmons has done a lot of positive things, man, to be honest with you. And we'll keep everybody abreast on the events going until tomorrow. So if you feel good about that, put in the chat. Let me know how y'all feel about Justin Simmons for the right price. And of course, please feel free to chime in on that poll right there. Get your vote in and let me know how y'all feel about that, because I really want to know. I'm going to then finalize the poll at the end of the show and give the final tabulations of the poll. All right, anyway, let's get right into it, man, and a couple of things to talk about. First and foremost, shout out to my guys at the Saints News Network, Brother Kyle T. Mosley, Brother Bob Rose, Brother Hendricks, doing their thing and report here that they're reporting that the Saints announced the transactions on Wednesday of two people. Well, signing, a couple of moves that the Saints made on Wednesday. The Saints announced the re-signing of offensive guard Mark Evans II. Remember him? That's the brother that was from Arkansas Pine Bluff. He had a lot of expectations for him. Saints bring him back. To make room for him, the Saints waived tight end Mason Fairchild, guy they just picked up. So y'all remember they bringing him back to the team, and he was released at the end of the camp. But, and like I said, this guy has a high upside. I like the kid, and him coming back is a big help. Plus, when you have so many issues at the guard position, I mean, and it makes mention of it right here, that you got Nick Saldiveri battling injury, Lucas Patrick, Shane Lemieux is another dude, Oli Udoh, undrafted rookie Kyle Hergel, and the Saints are expected to have 3 new starters on the offensive line that struggled mightily last season. Adding Mark Evans into the mix, perhaps he steps out. He was here last year. He has a lot of potential, and it is an open spot, man, for some people. So a lot of journeyman veterans there. Can Mark Evans make a name for himself as he returns to the team? All right, moving again, fam, as we keep it bucking and moving. We talk about the plays of what happened at Saints training camp, day number 12. A.T. Perry is one of the best players on the field for day 12, and rightfully so. We need A.T. Perry to step forward. We really do. We need A.T. Perry to step his game up and do what he needs to do here with a lot of injuries impacting the line. So after a day off, the Saints got back to work with pads back on day 12 of training camp. Saints got another good session of working on Wednesday with both offense and defense having some good moments. There's a couple of news and notes right here. So a few things to talk about in attendance. Among those not spotted Wednesday, Ugo Amadi with a groin issue, Bub Means leg and shin, Pete Werner shoulder, Rashid Shaheed hamstring, Kendre Miller hamstring, Paulson Adebo groin, Nick Saldiveri calf, Shane Lemieux and Trajan Jeffcoat elbows. Mason Tipton left practice early with a hamstring issue. Wow. Jake Hayner returned to practice today. Great for him. Jalen Ford and Demario Davis worked off to the side early. Then Equimia St. Brown and Juwan Johnson later. Laddie Daddy was an early observer. Ford and Davis came out later in their jerseys to observe the end of practice. Transaction, like we just mentioned, Mark Evans being brought back, and they released Mason Fairchild. They also recently signed linebacker Mike Rose, who did have an interview in today's round of sessions of interviews that we'll kind of go through in a lightning round, so to speak. I had a couple of performances to talk about the quarterback performance. Jake Hayner ended up taking backup reps for his return. Derek Carr didn't miss a pass in team drills. Derek Carr 12 of 14. Going into drills for 9 for 9. Jake Hayner was 10 of 14 with a score. Spencer Rattler was 5 of 9 with a score as well. So a few highlights just to go over, not all of them, but The 7-on-7 Carr went 3 for 5 in his first frame as the defense had some good coverage on the first play that forced him to scramble to the right and not be able to connect with Jamal Williams. He came back with an underneath completion to Alvin Kamara for a short gain that had a hookup with Foster Moreau near the right sideline off on the scramble. He then connected with A.T. Perry on the slant, then missed a deep throw to Alvin Kamara that was low. Jake Hayner's first pass was a deep throw to Chris Olave on the left side that didn't connect, and then he followed that up with a sharp middle connection to Jordan Mims and an intermediate hookup to A.T. Perry over the middle, and then a similar one to Dalen Hawker over the middle. Spencer Rattler then got in there for 3 reps with his first pass going into the dirt intended for Marquez Callaway. He then had a big connection to Kevin Radar, who made a nice one-handed grab over the middle. And then that should have been seen. The final rep was a deep right hookup that went to A.T. Perry, who had a very solid series. So a lot of people had some good moves out there as well, as they talked about with Derek Carr. And the offense continues to build up on a lot of the stuff that it's been doing. And that has been the word spoken about during camp over the last couple of days, is that the offense is building up momentum. It's building up, it's maturing. People are getting familiar with what they need to do and are doing it and are providing more of a competition for the defense there, which is a positive because we expect that to happen, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, they got to get it together. All right, first team reps started on the offense 40-yard line. Carr's first snap was a flip out to left to Alvin Kamara. After a fake to Taysom Hill, Willie Gay made a nice play off to the edge to stop for a minimal gain. His first pass was a completion off to the play action to Jamal Williams for a short gain on the left side, with Jonathan Abrams providing the pressure and a possible sack. Williams got a carry up the middle. The next play that was stuffed by Willie Gay Jr. Then there was a toss out to the right to Alvin Kamara that Anthony Orji made a nice stop on outside. Trevor Penny had a good run block on Kool-Aid McKinstry on the play, and if it were real time, that would have been a hit Orji could have made. Now, Jake Hayner's series started with a toss out to the left that got to the second level with Jordan Mims, who's been stepping up. He then connected with Michael Jacobson off to a play fake to Mims, which he rolled out to the left and made a nice throw on the run for a decent gain. The next pass attempt was knocked down by the line by Jack Heflin, and Chase Young was coming in for the play. The final snap was James Robinson, the backup running back, who got an inside run to the left that got to the next level. Spencer Rattler came in for just 2 plays, with the first being a run to the right with Jacob Kabaudy, and he got stood up by Monty Rice and Isaiah Foskey on the play. Rattler wanted to pass on the second play, but ended up keeping it and taking off after a play fake to Kabaudy. Now, Team Series 2, seen the offense start at the 25-yard line and feature down distance, and the sequences are listed below. And it's a lot to go over. So we'll go over a few of these right here. Derek Carr's 5 for 5 on this series right there as it started from the 25-yard line. Alvin Kamara run to the left. He was tackled by Carl Granderson. The next play was a 2nd and 8, which was a complete to the flat to Alvin for 6 yards. Shamar John Charles on the stop. 3rd and 2, Jamal Williams run inside for a short gain. 1st and 10, complete swing left pass to Jamal Williams for a pickup of 6. Foster Monroe did a nice job of blocking on the edge. And then the 2nd and 4, Alvin Kamara toss to the right for a 7-yard pickup. DeMarco Jackson and Willie Gay on the stop. Midfield, 1st and 10, complete sideline right to Foster Monroe for a gain of 4. Anthony Orji on the stop. Cam Jordan had the pressure on the play. 2nd and 6, complete flats left to Alvin Kamara for no gain. DeMarco Jackson and Monty Rice on the stop. 3rd and 6, a complete dagger right to Cedric Wilson Jr. for 36 yards. Rajon right there. And then a 4th and 4, Derek Carr he was sacked by Peyton Turner and Chase Young on the last play of his drill. Jake Hayner started from the 35-yard line. 1st and 10, Jordan Mims run to the right side. Christian Boyd and Rod Teamer on the stop. 2nd and 7, Aaron snap and a loss of 10 looked to Lucas Patrick. A complete slant left-right play to Kevin Austin Jr., Mac McClain, and Kool-Aid McKinstry had the pressure on the play. 1st and 10 by them from their own 34-yard line. James Robinson inside run for 9 yards. Monty Rice is there. James run for the next play on the 2nd and 1 to the right side for 12 yards. Then the 1st and 10, a complete short pass right to Samson Nakua for 5 yards. Isaiah Foskey had the pressure on the play, and Hayner did a good job. It did his Patrick Mahomes-like sidearm throw to complete the pass. And then, of course, from the defense, from the 40-yard line, 2nd and 5, they completed a deep right pass to A.T. Perry for 20 yards with Jordan Howden in tow. Not so good for Spencer in his series. He went 0 for 2 from the Saints' 30-yard line. 1st and 10, Jacob Kabaudy runs to the right for 2 yards. Rajon right on the stop. 2nd and 8, the next play, incomplete throwaway. Mike Rose had the pressure and a possible sack. And then, of course, his third play of the series was the 3rd and 8, incomplete sideline pass intended for Jacob Kabaudy. Isaiah Stallworth is there to stop him. All right. So anyway, let's move on down to some of the lanyard and some of the stuff that happened and some of the one-on-ones. situation. They talked about some of the reps that happened in camp. Samson Nakua versus Mac McCain. Nice touch. They had a nice touchdown grab right on the fade from Jake Hayner. Stanley Morgan Jr. versus Kool-Aid McKinstry. Real nice battle. Kool-Aid was in position, ended up taking the ball away on the ground, but it looks like it was a touchdown first. A.T. Perry versus Shamar Jean Charles. Perry had a nice back shoulder hookup from Hayner on the first rep for a touchdown. The other rep saw Charles with a nice pass breakup. Perry had a nice one later from Derek Carr, in which he got another touchdown in the back of the end zone. Cedric Wilson Jr. versus Kool-Aid McKinstry. Real tight window and hookup for the score on the Jake Hayner pass. So that, Kool-Aid is, having his bumps and bruises, win some, lose some, and that's what you do in camp. Some of the land you have to talk about. We talked about Justin Simmons to start the broadcast off. Saints have just over $14 million in space, according to Brother Hendricks, where I'm basically showing this right here, according to Over the Cap. And I know it ain't rock on, but, it's just under $12 million, according to Over the Cap. Whatever. All right. But anyway, going back here to the Lanyap section, they're saying the salary cap on Wednesday morning, there's room. They could always tack on a voided year to spread whatever they need to do financially for Justin Simmons. Dennis Allen said Simmons showed an interest, and the Saints will play that interview momentarily. He also said some other stuff. We'll cover all that in the interview section. Now, that's the thing about the Saints. They could very well have a situation where the Saints could, literally really could, bring in Justin Simmons. The only issue is how much does Justin Simmons want? Even at half his rate, I think it's around $6 or $7 million. But it does make the Saints defense go up an octave, doesn't it? Tyrann Mathieu and Justin Simmons back there, that defense goes up an octave. It's only if the price is right. Like I said, and the reason why I'm saying that is because there's still other factors that the Saints really need to take care of. The Alvin Kamara contract really needs to get done, and you're looking at Justin Simmons. I understand that, but shouldn't there be some type of priority here? We have to be able to Alvin's still the best player on the team. We need to get that taken care of. All right. Olympic facts of the day. Ugo Amadi attended the University of Oregon, who has 3 Olympians competing in Paris. That's big ups to them. Cedric Wilson Jr. attended the University of Memphis. 2 Memphis natives, Harrison Williams and Seth Ryder, are competing for Team USA in Paris. That's pretty cool. I thought A.T. Perry and Jake Hayner had solid days. This was by far Perry's best day of work out there. Cool. He absolutely needed it. He looked like the play we were expecting all training camp. Michael Jacobson, who's the backup tight end, also had some nice moments. Allen said Rashica being out is more precautionary. I understand that. Dennis Allen also said for the safety spot, I don't think we're set at the position opposite of Tyrone. He said we want the player to earn the job. Will Harris said Simmons is a very good friend of his, was a freshman when Simmons was at college. Well, I will play that as well. Oli Udoh continues to work with the first team at both left guard and left tackle. Lucas Patrick is still getting started and look at the left guard currently. Saints continue to incorporate using rugby balls with their receiver drills when we see it often, but when new faces get added to the defensive side of the ball, there's a lot of initiate period where they have to do up and downs. Okay, thank you for that. Taysom Hill is being used in various areas. He was working with the running backs group and then later on to the tight ends, as you can see. Both Clint and Andrew Janoko continue to really be hands-on with their approach, particularly at quarterback. There was a drill in which they were working on their footwork, and Kubiak was waiting at a particular spot to catch passes from them. His level of involvement is hard not to notice. Foster Monroe is somewhere constantly brings the energy at practice. He's quite vocal in helping the offense find themselves. And that's good because I've been asking myself, how has Foster Monroe been doing? How has he been doing that? Because we're going to need him from a backup perspective and his blocking ability too in this new offense the Saints are running. Today is the first day we saw all the specialists back. One correction to making regarding Blake Grupe that was pointed out by a colleague that he shorted in one attempt. So coming in today, he was 42 of 49 on the day. So that's very positive as well. The punters alternated their kicks today with Lou Hetley in there. And then he had a wobble of a few things, but Lou Hetley's been having a pretty solid camp by far from what I've been saying. This me not talking, not John. But the punters alternated in their kicks, and Lou Hetley did his thing. Matt Highball had a few balls as well, kicking pretty solidly. The kick returners included Jordan Mims, Taysom Hill, James Robinson, Kool-Aid McKinstry, Alante Taylor, Jamal Williams. Mims had a couple of kicks that he had trouble fielding with Tipton missing some practice. McKinstry got some work at the punt position. So shout out to John Hendricks, Saints News Network, kind of giving us the scoop on some of the stuff that happened at day number 12 in the black and gold building. So that's some of the stuff to talk about, man, as we moving forward. So big ups to everybody, baby. Let me get ready to kind of get this set up as we get into the interview side of things, man. But listen, this is pretty positive, man. It's pretty positive to hear what I'm saying, especially with the offense. You want to see the offense continue to build and grow and grow and grow and grow. That's what we need to see from them as well. Shout out to Farouk, brother Reginald. Good to see y'all in the chat. OG Jared, brother Torres in this thing. Pelicans. Nola, 504 code says Q. If we're serious winning, you go get Simmons and another wide receiver. All right, there we go. All right, L Dub says, yeah, that's Nick said that. Also, Josina said the same thing. So yeah, they mirroring each other there. Cartel, what's happening, brother? Good to see you in the chat as well, brother Booker. Who that to your fam? God's appointed one is in the building. Shout out to you as well. Big ups to all my family, man. Much love to y'all. Black jobs available. Who that to you as well? JT says, Q. Remember, if the offensive line's not good, that means our coaches had all summer to see this. You know what? Yes, indeed. You know, ain't no disputing that, JT. When you're right, brother. Brother Byron, shout out to you. OG to the third degree. Baby, see how I broke that down? You got to break it down like that because OG to the third degree, baby. That's how you do it. All right, Mad Drummer, what's up? St. Doug, it's Poppy 504. Brother Torres, shout out to you. Quavadius, Bronze. T, what's happening, man? If I ain't get you, man, y'all throw it in there. I promise I'll do my best to kind of get that recognition into the who that, man. Y'all taking time to kind of listen to your brother. I'm going to take time to acknowledge you. Brother Brian, how you doing as well? Big ups to you. Good to see y'all in there as well. Quavadius says, I'm not getting excited until I see something come across my screen. But we still got to worry about the offense because the defense really ain't been the problem. Nah, the defense is, even if they go into the season currently constructed, the defense will be a solid unit. It'd be a top 10 unit. And if they stay healthy and improve, they could be a top 5 unit. They have everything. They have depth at the defensive end position. I'm a little leery about the interior tackle position, because you need, I like Christian Boyd and Brian Bresee, but do you need, what about that third interior guy right there? Are we going to go with, I don't know. We're going to see. I'm a little leery on that, to see, but I do not too much leery. You know what I'm saying? I'm guess I'm okay. The defensive end position, I think everything's going to round itself out. The linebacker position, I was a little shaky on early on, but it appears that a lot of our young linebackers are stepping up. The secondary, I knew the secondary was going to be all right. So we'll see. Because like I said, last year we had a problem stopping the run. We was like 19th in the NFL, I think. We gave it like 119. No, not 19. We gave it like 119 yards a game. You can't do that. We gotta shut them down. All right. Yeah, I hear you, Larry. Larry says, show me. What's up, Papoose? Big ups to you, brother. Good to see you. Big Valley is in this thing as well, brother. Elwood, shout out to you. Shazam, I see you, fam. Much love to y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. Yes, indeed. You know how that go. Show me. That's how I go, man. That's what we've been doing. We've been running that thing. I ain't gonna lie to you. But anyway, let's get into it, man. Y'all put one in the chat. Y'all can hear old DA running his flapper. Here go old Possum Puss about to break down.
Yeah. Look, first practice after day off. I thought we started a little sluggish today, but I thought we picked it up as the practice went along. So was pleased with the way that it ended. It's we got one more install really to basically get pretty much everything in prior to the first game, all the different situational type stuff. We had short yardage today. We'll hit goal line tomorrow. And so we'll have everything in by the time we get to Arizona for the preseason game.
All right. Shout out to Mad Drummer. He says, do you think we'll automatically have a top 5 offense or when we get Simmons? I mean, man, listen, Simmons, even this late in his career, because Simmons was like for a long time in his career, Simmons was like a top 10 safety in the entire NFL. He was a solid player. He covered, he can hit. Now, like I said, they kind of got rid of him because of the money. They didn't want to pay him the money. He got to that age. And I don't think he'll make that kind of money, per year again. But if you're the Saints and you can find somewhere around it, because if you cut his contract in half, realistically, what is Jonathan Abrams asking for? Seriously, there's no money amount being thrown around. Of course, if you have an opportunity to sign Simmons, you do it, but the money has to make sense. Remember, you ain't got a ton of money, fam. And the ideal, and if the Saints are practicing like they always practice, which would be to kick the can down the road, then you can afford him. You can afford Alvin Kamara. You can afford Paulson Adebo. You can, but you're going to pay for it. You're going to pay for it one way or the other. And in this Simmons deal seems like it's going to be it's a 1 year deal. It's going to break down into a 1 year deal with a voided year into the future. It's just how much of it are they going to put up with? And like I said, I thought some of this stuff's supposed to operate on priority. That's why I put the poll question up is, aren't we supposed to be taking care of business with Alvin Kamara? Aren't we supposed to be getting his extension done? And then eventually you bring Simmons in, for the right price and keep it pushing. Or are we just going to practice what we've been practicing? That's the question I'm asking. I like Simmons, but at the right price, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's people we need to kind of get under contract if they're serious about getting them under contract. But all shall be revealed, my friend. We all shall see. All right, big ups to y'all. Brother Wallace, good to see you. Devereaux, I see you, fam, and that much love. Appreciate you. Shazam says, if we get Simmons, we'll have the best secondary. And if they get Simmons, it's definitely a top 5 defense, bro. Ain't no doubt about it. Wallace also adds, what about Michael Thomas back? I don't think Mike Thomas is coming back, bro. I don't even know if Mike Thomas is healthy right now, to be honest with you. I don't know. I don't even know if Mike Thomas is healthy, but I doubt we'll get Mike Thomas back. And I severely doubt that, my brother. But it'll be interesting to look at. All right, here we go.
That's everything in as in for not just the first game. That's
that's the nuts and bolts of everything that we're doing from a situational standpoint. Everything we're doing from a schematic standpoint. We really have everything, and now there'll be a few tweaks and things as you go throughout the season. But the foundation for what we want to do in each situation of the game will be in after we get through, the walkthrough portion of practice tomorrow.
The Jacobs back today, any update on this procedure?
Yeah, look, I think everything went well. As far as I know, no, I guess not really much of an update other than they feel like they accomplished what they needed to get accomplished, and I don't see there being really any limitations for the player, moving forward.
Have you made your decision on starters playing Saturday or get close to that?
I won't say anything to anybody publicly until I get a chance to talk to the team in terms of what we're going to do. So we'll just keep that under wraps for right now. I've not discussed that at all with our players, and so we'll kind of wait and talk to the players first before we make any sort of an announcement.
I don't know why you wanted to bring in Justin Simmons for a free.
Well, look, this is a guy that's been a good player in our league for a long time. He's a player that's shown an interest in us. We've got some connections with him in terms of guys on our staff that have worked with him, guys that have played with him. And so, look, I think it's exactly what it is. It's a visit. He's coming in, and we'll talk about how we would see him, what type of vision that we would have for him, and then if what we're looking for and what he's looking for, if those things match up, then we'll see if it goes further than that.
Dennis, is that more about him than what you've seen at the safety position at camp?
Yeah, look, as always, you're always looking for areas that you think you can improve your football team. I don't think that's necessarily a position that I'm saying, man, we got to go out and actively find somebody. I think it's more of a situation where there's a really good player that's on the street, and this is a player that there's been some communication with, with the player or his agency, and so I think we're at a point now where I think both sides feel comfortable with him coming in and visiting, and we'll see where it goes from there.
He's arriving late, like it hasn't happened yet.
He's coming in at some point. I don't have those details right now.
Let me add this to it, man. It's interesting, man. Chase Young and a potential signing of Justin Simmons are big. What are the offensive counterparts for those guys? Just wondering. Put it in the chat. Great saying, think tank, mighty who that nation. Put that in the chat. Who are the offensive equivalents of not guys that have been here, but guys that were signed that are similar to a Chase Young or a potential Justin Simmons signing. Y'all let me know in the chat. Cartel says, Big Q, if we're not serious about the team, Carr needs to rework his contract for the betterment of the team. If a legend like Drew can do it, Carr can too. He's nowhere near the caliber of Drew. Indeed. Edwards said, AQ, I might cry if we don't sign Simmons. Might cry if we do. You're just gonna be like Mickey Lomas. You ain't gonna be able to do your job. You're gonna be happy. Oh, I can't do my job whether I'm happy or sad. I don't know. Shazam says, I'm hearing Puka. Brother, yes, Samson, Nakua, and the Ivy League dude, which is Mason Tipton, has really impressed the offense. Yes, indeed. Unfortunately, Mason had a little hamstring issue, but he's been balling. He's a natural. Mason Tipton's a natural. If he's healthy, he should make this team. He should make the team. He's a natural. The guy, if you ever go and watch his route running, it's like it's not too many wrong things that he does. Not saying that he's super perfect, but he's a natural. He's a natural. He has the intelligence. He runs every route on the tree. He has 4.33 speed. He's a really solid catcher of the ball. So ain't too many people like young rookies coming in you could say that about. I mean, he's a natural. Jordan Mims is another dude. He's another undrafted guy the Saints picked up here last year. And he's been a very solid player for the Saints. When you give an opportunity, he's a solid. Like he's elusive. He can run inside, outside. He can catch the ball like a wide receiver. He also has good speed. And he also can help you in the kick return game, despite the fact that he kind of botched a few things. He was having some problems fielding some stuff today. So it's what it is. But Mason Tipton is, man, if he's healthy, he should make the team. So I applaud the Saints in finding those guys. Big Valley says, he said, doesn't AK have an offer on the table? He does, bro. You have to wonder why he hasn't accepted yet. Well, I mean, he has an offer on the table. I know the team said, here go our offer to you. And you're not going to automatically say, oh, wow, here go offer. Let me go ahead and sign this and send it back to you. What they're going to do is they're going to look at the price. They're going to look at the years. And they go say, scratch this out, put this here, send it back to him. Mickey take a look at it. And Mickey going to look at it. Oh, let's see what you got here. Oh, my God, that number's too high. And rework it and send it back to him. So this might take a little bit. An offer, they got an offer. Let me give you an offer. And then, they're going to kind of work that thing out that kind of way. I don't think Kamara is going to sign the first thing that they give him. He would be foolish to do that because he sees his value. And the thing about that is Mickey has to be able to see if they can find an even ground there. Here we go.
Just a visit or like a workout as well? Or,
Just a visit.
How long have these conversations been going on?
Yeah, I don't know exactly. Probably sometime in the spring there was a little bit of back and forth. We and he were not, probably, on the same page in terms of what we were willing to do or what he's looking for. I think it's just getting closer to the season. I think we're probably a little closer on both sides. And so I think that's why you bring the player in. You have a chance to sit down and visit with him and see if things work out. So that's really what it is.
When you talk about adding a veteran at this spring as in the initial, when free agency, I guess.
No, I don't think this was something that took place, in the initial free agency. I think this was probably kind of after the free agency wave had gone through, really probably even after the draft. I can't remember the exact, timing of it, but, I think it really started probably with, Joe and Marcus, both those guys having familiarity with the player, we've kind of just monitored the situation.
Shout out to you, brother Devin. Thank you for becoming a member of the stream, brother. Much love to you, brother Devin. And also thank you much. Says the equal to the defense signing is the whole offense coaching signing, O-line coaching, and the OC signing. Thank you, Black Preacher Man, for your super chat, brother. Yeah, that was loud, dude. That woke your ass up, didn't it? He said, man, that was loud. I was trying to lay down. He said, jolted his ass up. Oh, yeah, Dirty, that got you up, huh, baby? You know what it was? Dennis Allen lured your ass to sleep. That's what.
Situation, and we've gotten to the point now where we feel like, we bring him in, we have a chance to sit down and visit with him, and if things work out, great.
Are you so surprised he's still available?
Look, I mean, I think he's a good player. I think he's been a good player in our league, and so, but I can't speak to, the reasons why he's still available, really. But I know we think he's a good player, and we're interested in having him out and visiting with him.
You referenced it a couple times, but when you're adding a veteran player at this stage, it has to be helpful to know that Marcus and Joe have that connection. Does that make it easier in terms of adding a new person to the locker room?
Yeah, look, you never know what you're getting until they actually get here, and so when you have somebody that's been in the meeting room with a player, whether it be a player or a coach, but somebody that's been in the meeting room, been on the practice field, been through the games, to where you have intimate knowledge of how the player responds in different situations. What type of teammate is he? Is he going to fit into the culture that we have here? Like, all those different things are things that you don't really know unless you have, that knowledge from, being in the building. And so, I think having those guys know the player and having worked with him before.
Eugene says, Q, catching us off guard like that with that boom immunity is while DA had us half asleep. That's diabolical.
Bang! Bang! It's good!
Oh, man, I got to wait. Hey, man, Dennis Allen be out here working and putting people to sleep with his possum puts words every now and then, man. We got to stay up and listen, brother. We got to pay attention.
Would make a transition easier.
Avery Johnson talking to the team today.
Say that again?
Avery Johnson.
Avery's in for I think today, and I think maybe he takes off tomorrow. But he'll be in and kind of checking some things out, and probably have a visit with the squad this afternoon.
That's the old Sean Payton trick that Dennis Allen doing. Avery Johnson's in there to kind of check out the squad. That's an old Sean Payton trick. See, this is the thing, man, that we talked about all the time. This didn't happen in the first 2 years. You got to keep, when you're lacking. See, Dennis Allen's, he's learning. He's learning on the job. Fam, he didn't do this previously. If you're not, and that's what I was saying, if you're a guy that's not good at keeping people attention, if you're not an animated and an entertaining guy or know how to talk to your squad and the message gets dull, you got to bring in people that has the ability to motivate. You got to be able, wherever you're lacking, if you can't get that skill, you have to be able to feel that skill some kind of way. Whether the guy on your staff or bringing somebody in to talk to the team to keep them motivated. But that is something that Sean Payton used to do. Dennis Allen doing his thing, man. Dennis Allen got to give him credit on that one.
Talk, boy!
Dennis Allen, got to give him credit, fam. DA picking up on some Sean Payton stuff, man. That's what I'm talking about, bro. Not bad at all, man. Not bad. What's up, brother Duke? How you doing, man?
Has anyone anyone caught your eye at safety? Like, the rotation that you have going with having Abram.
Yeah, I don't think we're set at that position opposite of Tyron. I mean, I think we got several guys that are competing. All of them have things that they do well. All of them have things that they have to improve on. And so, I think we're just going to let that play out as the preseason plays out. And I'm not in any hurry to make a determination of where we're at there.
Kind of related to that, I think the number of the guys, like, kind of rotating some guys in a different spots for the first team or whatever it is. Like, when do you get to the point where you kind of want to have that set after the preseason?
Well, whenever I feel like that it's set in my mind that this is the guy that's earned the job, and I'm not at that spot right now.
Dennis, I'm sure the players are excited about Saturday. Are you kind of, you can look at the calendar, it's a few days later, you get kind of, you excited to see. I know you said you want to see him when the noise and the lights come on. Are you getting fired up for Saturday?
Yeah. I think it's why you go through all these things that we go through, not necessarily for preseason games, but why you spend all this time practicing, meeting time. All these things are to go and play the game, and so these games aren't going to count in terms of our record, but I think they matter. I think they're important for a lot of people. I think they're important for us as a coaching staff with a lot of new pieces on offense. Being able to get into those game situations, understand how the communication is going to operate, how the communication from the box down to the field to the players, the communication to the quarterback on the field, like all those are things, getting our substitutions on and off. Those are all things that I think, are important things for us to get kind of, ironed out over the course of the next 3 games in the preseason, so that those don't become issues as we get into the regular season. So I think we're all kind of excited about playing games.
What did Mason Smith need for?
Hamstring.
Yeah, with Charlie Smith, is there any possible way to simulate actual game pressure? Is there anything to be comfortable with that?
Well, put him in these games, So, look, I'm hopeful that we're going to be able to get him in these games and let him kick some, in an NFL football game and see how he responds. There's certain things that we could do, throughout the course of practice to try to simulate as best we can, but I don't think anything can simulate that environment until you're actually in that environment, So, I'm interested to see, how he does when we get into these preseason games, because he's talented, and I think he's improved since we first got him.
Both Justin Simmons and Ty Matt are probably what you would consider more deep safeties. They're both on the roster. Are they interchangeable? Do they have varied skill sets?
Well, look, I think if we went down that road, I think we'd find ways to utilize those players. I think that's a strength of what we do. As we find out what guys do really well, we put them in those situations to do that. We'll figure it out if that's the case. All right.
With Rashid Shaheed not having returned yet, is that indicative of Stewart's still performing?
Yeah, I don't think it's indicative of anything. I think it's probably more still, precautionary type deal. And yet he's dealing with soft tissue injury. So I think all these guys are going through that rehab process. And, as soon as we feel like we can safely put it back out on the field and we're not really, putting them in an at-risk situation to have a re-injury, I think that's kind of the plan.
So similar case with Boston Debo, you had mentioned he tried to go one day and then has ended up missing a week since then. He didn't have
I don't think we're at a week, to be honest with you. I'd say it's probably been about 2 practices, and don't quote me on that either. But look, he had a little bit of soreness. Saw the trainers. We tried to wrap it, tape it, tried to go. Wasn't feeling great, and so he's dealing with soft tissue injuries. These things take a little bit of time, but I don't think any of these are going to be things that really are going to cost us any regular season time. So
because of your corner situation, about a spot specifically, on Saturday, they play a ton of snaps just because of the guys who are.
Yeah, look, I think there's a lot of guys who are going to play a lot of snaps, and there's some guys that need to play a lot of snaps, so we can get a good evaluation of them. So we'll take whatever the number we got, and we'll go play and put a good product out there for the first preseason game. All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you, Coach.
All right. Shout out to DL, AKO Possum Puss, man. Big ups to you guys. Appreciate y'all being in the stream as well. Much love to the fam. All right, Quavadius says Sean's problem was he wanted to rely on Drew forever. Thinking Drew was alone was enough for the Saints to win a Super Bowl until Father Time and injury said otherwise. Yes, indeed, man. That's true. We had a chance, man, at Lamar Jackson, man, and we chose the closest thing we had to a futuristic, top-notch quarterback behind Drew. We were there, and we took Davenport. That still hurts to this day, fam. Here we go. There go Will Harris.
Every day, and I think during this time, it's important for everybody to get reps kind of at different spots, and for the coaches to kind of see guys' skill set. So we come to work every day, and we're just putting the days together, stacking them together, and kind of figuring it out from there. I'm just doing my part and fit in where I can.
What do you feel you are, in terms of having earned the trust of quarterbacks?
One more time. I'm sorry.
What do you feel you are in terms of having earned the trust of quarterbacks?
I feel like you said the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I feel like, shoot, if it depends on kind of what their looks are, what they're, if they're looking at me or whatever, being on the defensive side of the ball. I'm just doing my job over there. So, I don't know what they see, on the opposite end. We just try to make it as hard for them as possible. So.
Kickoffs, kick return, kickoff, coverage.
Yep. It's definitely an ongoing learning process. I think with Riz and Phil, have done a great job of getting us prepared up until this point. We're still working at it, and there's been a lot of dialogue behind the behind the new rules and regulations, or whatnot. But what comes with that, then after that is how you game plan for it. So it's been work in progress, and guys are owning that and attacking that every day.
Okay. How have you felt that you've been able to adjust to the sort of Dennis Allen way, the Saints defense this fall?
To be honest, I feel like I feel like there wasn't really an adjustment for me. At the end of the day, I think I'm just a ball player. You know what I'm saying? And so, when I first came in the off season and and spoke to DA and spoke to all the coaches, the culture here is set, and the expectations are set, and the expectations to how guys play and how guys operate within the building. That's all set here. So all I had to do is come in and kind of fall in line and be a part of the puzzle and do my best to contribute to this team.
Do you feel like you kind of already came in with a little bit of familiarity since you were in a similar situation before?
There was a lot of the same. There was a lot of crossover. Just being with AG or being with Dan or whatever. So they were obviously here before in their past. So there was a lot of crossover as far as all of those things are concerned. But at the end of the day, I'm glad to be here. And when I came here, I made sure I had to talk with all of the coaches and kind of ask what they expect of me and the expectations of the team moving forward. And I do my best to try to pull my weight in that aspect.
Is there something noticeable? We've heard from some of the veteran guys like Tyron and Cam Jordan and Mario about their sense of urgency, sort of knowing their career mortality in this playoff period. You've been in other live rooms before, but did you notice something about the tone those guys were set when you got here?
Oh yeah, man. It's you could you could feel it. With those guys, yes, and just the whole locker room, man. It's like you could tell guys here play for each other. You could tell it means the world to the guys in this locker room, which is you love to be around it, and it motivates me. It motivates everybody kind of in the building to want to go harder and kind of put their best foot forward.
What stands about that defensive culture that they've sort of set here?
100%. They're the work speaks for itself. I would say you got guys like Double D been doing this for at a high level for a long time. Guys like Ty, and everyone kind of guys like Cam, and the list goes on, to be honest. And everyone kind of behind that, we all rally around them, and it's hard not to get up, especially playing beside guys like that. It's hard not to run through a brick wall for those guys, especially. So you see the way they come to work still, 10, 12, 14 years plus. You see the way they they own their craft, and you see the way they work every day, and it's inspiring, to be honest.
I know that's probably true of all three, but it's DeMario in particular, the run through a brick wall guy.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah, man, 100%.
What has been your impressions of Marcus Robinson?
He's great. He's been a phenomenal tool and resource for all of the DBs. He has a wealth of knowledge, and just being able to kind of lean on him and kind of ask his perspective as to how he sees certain sets, certain formations, how the offense is trying to attack us. It's been great. We talk every day, all day, and it's been a tremendous resource for me, but the whole DB group especially. So he's been great.
Some experience in that safety room, but then there's some of the younger guys too. Peer pressure, like guys like Jordan Howard, for instance, who are finding their way.
Man, he's a dog, and he's and just like everyone else, man. He's coming to work every day. He's working. He's a pro. Takes care of his body, and he's out there, man. He knows his stuff, and he's out there making plays. So I guess that kind of ties into my previous answers, like being out there with guys kind of like that who have been a part of this culture and kind of set that tone, for this culture, man. It's amazing to see. Actually, it's amazing to play with. So
what would you think today? What would you think if they added Justin Simmons? He's going to be different.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no. That's obviously my dog from from college. We went to BC together. I was a freshman there when he was a senior. So he's a really good friend of mine. And so I'm wishing him all the best. With his I guess you would call it like free agency ventures or whatever right now. But he's obviously, that's again, work speaks for itself. He's a high level player and a high level person. So he's a great friend, man. So that would be amazing.
So did you interact like all the time, or just how you friends, or how did the friendship kind of start? I know you were in college together, but
I mean, yeah. We were in college together with we went to BC together with with a bunch of guys like Isaac got him from Isaac, he was there. So I mean, we were just all cool from college. We had a good solid DB group in college, man. We were all really close, so we've always stayed in touch, ever since then.
It's kind of strange to see, a guy from All Pro last year who's still looking for a new team at this point. That kind of,
I mean, I can't call it. I can't call it. I don't. I try not to get into that aspect or that side of things. All I know is I guess things happen for a reason, and the way God wants it to happen is the way it'll be. So I'm a big firm believer in that, and kind of being where your feet are and putting one step in front of the other. So.
How did he ask you about the Saints at all since you were here?
No, I haven't spoken to him. I haven't spoken to him since his golfing days. So. Yeah. Hey man, if I gotta go back to my phone. I don't know. I might have a text from him, but we'll see.
So you didn't know he was coming in at all?
Oh no. All good. All good. All right, thanks guys. Appreciate it. Thank you guys.
All right. Shout out, man. Will Harris. Big ups to Will Harris, man. Will Harris plays multiple positions, man, all around the field for teams, and plays corner, can play safety for you. He's a utility knife and the cool dude, man. The Justin Simmons, move, man, was very interesting. Justin Simmons, for some of the family members, just to kind of talk about some of his stats before we finish up on the rest of these interviews, man. Take a look at this. This is Mr. Simmons right here. All right, 30 years of age, third-round pick for Denver back in 2016 from the university. Well, actually, Boston College. How about that? So anyway, spent all of his time with Denver. All of his times. He has 30 interceptions. 30 interceptions. That's pretty damn good. That's pretty damn good. And, you contrast with that with your best safety, which is Tyrann Mathieu. He has 30. Justin Simmons has 30 career interceptions. Tyrann Mathieu has 33. So you can imagine what that's going to look like back there. Plus, they talk about him losing a step here or there, but he's been very much productive over the last several years of his career. Very productive safety. As you can see, his best years came from 2018 to 2020 when he comprised a high percentage of sacks, 97 in 2018, 2019, 93. 2020 was 96, and as you can see, he gets the interceptions, fam. That's what that's a ball hawking safeties that we have. Like, look at this. His year, just a couple of years ago in 2022, he had his best interception year as a pro. In 12 games, he played in just 12 games that had 6 picks. Prior to that, he had 2 5+5 campaigns. And then, of course, last year, just 3. So, it's very interesting, man, what kind of player this is. This is a ball hawking safety. Now, I see he's reached that 30 age mark. But just imagine what Simmons and a guy like Tyrann Mathieu could do, right? Well, those guys as your safeties back there. Just imagine what that looks like. That'll be awesome. Not to mention the IQ level of the safeties would be off the chain. So all the question is the price is right? So like Bob Barker in this joint, could the price be right for Justin Simmons? And like I said, he was making double-digit money last year, and they kind of put him in the street. Hold on, let me pull it up because I did this before when I put Justin in here to talk about his money and what he was making. And that's the thing that a lot of people are like, what's the price on Simmons? Well, let me put it up here. Here it is right here. Let me just kind of add this right here. Then we'll finish our interview sections and Dirk on out. That's Justin Simmons according over the cap. Then you kind of look at his years with the Broncos, 2016 to 2023. You can see the last couple of years right here, 15.1 and then 14.4. And average there. Look, all the money he made a one metric, ton of money, almost $50 million over that span of time. But what could Justin Simmons' money looks like? What does he want? What's the average? Now you see the average APY, it's 7.7. What does he want? 4, 5, 6 million, for 1 year? What does it look like? And like I said, does it really matter? Does it? And if we talk about economics and fiscal responsibility, that has nothing to do with the Saints. So if anything, you could throw that out, and you can also throw out whatever they're going to do with Elvin Kamara. That's why I kind of, why play like you don't have no money? You kind of rustling in your pockets, making, hold on, let me see what I got in my pockets here. Oh, I got a nickel and 7 pennies and 1 quarter and a Buffalo head nickel. No, why we ruffling in our pockets and turning them inside out for Elvin? I know. I got here. I see here. I got a smoothie pass. Oh my God, where did that come from? I can get me a prune smoothie. So I mean, come on. While we go, I'm just saying, man, fiscal responsibility as saying as such, because you have to, based on what the cap situation looking like for the Saints this year and next year, there has to be some restrictions. So you can't really kick the can. But then again, like I said, it's fiscal responsibility, and what Mickey Loomis doesn't always equal the same. So even though Mickey's good at NFL money, please, mighty Who Dat Nation, do not let Mickey Loomis balance your checkbook. He will put your ass in debt. He would have you homeless. Okay, don't your lights out, your water off. Hold on, what's going on here? The lights off? Didn't you pay your bill? Or Mickey, you were supposed to be doing that. You run your ass into the poorhouse. All right, Who Dat Daddy says we're gonna have a no-fly zone in the backfield. Oh, bro, listen. Like I said, I love what Justin Simmons means. Like, not just Justin Simmons, but Tyrann Mathieu and Justin Simmons is a stellar safety look. We're not just talking about those guys are good because they're intelligent. They have an idea of what they're doing. They have like Tyrann Mathieu. That's been his. If you don't know nothing about the man, if you watch, because I'm from down here, I've been knowing about Tyrann Mathieu. When he, they don't call him the Honey Badger no more. Well, I don't call him the Honey Badger. That was something that he had when he was at LSU. But he was terrific, man. And that's because even when he didn't know everything was going on, Tyrann Mathieu had a skill of just being around the ball. He wasn't the biggest guy, but he had a elite gift of always being around the ball, knowing where it was going and being able to make a play. There's just some guys that just have an innate instinct of where to be on the field. And once they're there, they make the play. The play is not bigger than them. That's Tyrann Mathieu. That's Justin Simmons. And you have guys like that. And I'm saying if they sign him, because Tyrann's obviously a smaller safety, Justin's 6'2", over 200 pounds. He's a good tackler and a ball hawk. So you got 2 ball hawking safeties back there that's super intelligent. It's going to be fun, man, if that's the move. So it'll be cool kind of watching that happen if it does happen. So, all right, Who Dat Daddy says he wants $18 million. Hey, bro. I would, that's kind of pricey, man. 504 Coach says, I really think he's asking $10 million. That sounds more like it, maybe like $10 million or something. But will the Saints give him that? I mean, $10 million? What did they give Chase? Like 1 year at $12 million? So based on the Chase deal, which was the Chase Young deal, was it a deal? For Chase Young, if he's healthy, it's a deal if he's healthy. And then you get Justin Simmons for less than 10, maybe 8 or 9. Still in all, man, it just don't feel like, it doesn't feel correct for them to be saying, okay, we paid him, but we still ain't pay Alvin Kamara. What's I don't know. That just sits wrong with me a little bit. All right, Bobbin says Mickey got a pack of juice. That's why he had that face all the time. Shazam said, what people forgetting is Howden will be there. So yes. I thought about that, bro, when they were talking about John. I was like, John, that means Howden. Yeah, he sit back just listening to Tyrann Mathieu and Justin Simmons. This kid's going to be awesome, man. Going to be so awesome. And if that is indeed the move, it's not looking good for Jonathan Abrams. Well, he's extremely cheap. Him or Will Harris, perhaps. What do you do with those guys? I don't know, man. But that's a whole nother level. Yeah, he said had no idea Simmons was an all-pro last year. The dude is good, man. The dude is good. He's been making a lot of money for it for a long time. He's a solid safety, very productive. And the great thing about it is, like I said, we have to, if they sign the guy, you will have two vet safeties that have 30 interceptions. Tyron's 33, Justin's 30 interceptions between them. That's 60 plus interceptions, career interceptions between two starting safeties if they do sign them. Just think about that. Just think about that a little bit, baby. If I was Mickey probably trying to hit that 5. It won't be interesting to see how that works out, man. Let's go back to our interview. Here we go.
There working with him here. Has there been any changes? Anything you've noticed about him that's maybe a little different this time?
No, not really. Same guy. Shows up every day, installs, meetings, offensive meetings. Pretty much the same guy, yeah.
What do you like about this offense for a lineman?
A lot of things. There's a lot of things I like of it. Great run game. Really established the run game. Passing game is probably super easy for offensive linemen, and then just the play action that comes with it is you're taking big chances down the field, and those are exciting, of course. And if you can just get all those three things to kind of go together, you've got a great offense, and I think that's what we're building right now.
As an offensive lineman, an offense that wants to establish a run, is that like fun for you guys?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Why is that?
I mean, offensive linemen like to run the ball. Yeah. Simple as that. Yeah.
Says on the notes that you want to pursue a career in medicine after this?
That was like rookie year, me. Not anymore. No chance. Okay. Yeah.
You're good on that now?
Yeah, I'm good on that.
Thank you.
Appreciate you guys.
All right, Oli Udoh, man. That's supposed to be the next James Hurst. Oli Udoh is set up to be the next James Hurst, perhaps. And I thought, the Saints kind of seen him as such. And really, you look at Nick Seldevera, I thought it'd be a battle between Nick
You knew you were talking to us, so you showed out on the field today? Felt pretty good out there today?
And Oli Udoh early, but it turned out Oli Udoh kind of slid down. You've seen Lucas Patrick, who was later signed, kind of elevated there. So a lot going on, man. It's a lot of turning at that guard position. Got to keep an eye on that. Here's Cedric Wilson.
I felt pretty good coming off day, getting back in the groove of things. So definitely felt good to get back out here.
How do you feel like you're fitting in this offense?
I think I'm fitting pretty well. Kind of ran the same scheme the last 2 years, so kind of definitely more comfortable than I would have been hence going somewhere else and trying to fit in. But just getting more knowledge of the offense now that I know what's going on. Now I can look at the better details of it and then also help the other guys when I do know the answer.
How similar is this scheme with
Very similar. Very similar. Yeah, very, very similar. Different terminology, obviously, I guess. Each coach definitely throws their own twist on things, but very similar from the basic standpoint.
How much trust do you feel like you're running with the quarterback?
I mean, trust goes up every time you catch the ball, so hopefully I'm gaining more and more every day. Whatever pass is thrown to me, I can haul them in.
So if you could oversimplify things to say, I mean, obviously, Chris, Olave, and Rashichi, who are established here, are smaller guys, fast guys, deep threats, and the void this team needs to fill is physical, blocking, that kind of stuff. I mean, is there an obvious niche that you want to show them you can fill to complement those guys?
From the personal standpoint, I just want to put my best foot forward. Whatever is asked of me to do, that's what I'm going to do, whether it's block, whether it's catch the ball, whether it's special teams. That's my personal goals. But I don't really think a physical aspect needs to be added. I feel like the guys do a pretty good job. They just haven't been asked or required to do it yet. So in camp right now, they're doing it pretty well when they're asked to do it. So I feel like it'll show when the time comes.
Cedric, when you signed with the Saints, did you take a look at that depth chart in the roster and be like, not only can I make this fit for me, I can compete for a lot of playing time?
No, I didn't really look at the depth chart. Honestly, no, it's just, it was kind of going down to where I wanted to be at, play at, and also live. So when it came down, when I got here, the depth chart is what it is. I'm still have to compete for my job regardless because I'm going against definitely a young group of guys. They have a ton of energy and they definitely run fast.
Go from Miami to New Orleans, pretty good cities to live in, huh?
Oh yeah, definitely. Food's fire in New Orleans.
What's your history as a blocker? Is it something you've always embraced, or is it something you learned earlier in your career that it helps?
Honestly, no, it wasn't definitely not something I really necessarily like to do. Kind of had to learn it last 2 years in Miami when I had the two guys getting the ball. I had to learn how to get in where I fit in. And then, in this league, if you block pretty good, then you'll find yourself around catching some football. So kind of learned that going into year 5 and 6, and hopefully it prolongs my career.
Having played in the system before, what do you kind of make of just the way so many teams are trying to emulate it now and copy it? And Is there a point like where it kind of could it reach oversaturation with so many teams trying to run it? Like what?
I don't think it'll definitely go over, but offense is definitely unique for the last 2 years. Like I said, running it and now seeing Clint's mind work with it. It's a great offense when the mastermind behind the ones that's calling the plays are geniuses as well. And if everyone's trying to do it, it's just who can do it the best. So I feel like it's definitely a copycat lead anyway. But each team has their versatility of their guys, so that's when you'll see the differences in the offense.
So from that standpoint, does Clint do you think stand out about Clint the way he tries to add new wrinkles to it, or like what do you kind of observe from him and the way he's trying to apply it maybe with this offense?
I haven't got to see too much of it yet because obviously OTAs and training camp we've been just doing installs. So I'm sure later on in game week planning I'll see more of it. But just to get basic fundamentals of offense, he has it all the way down packed. Like I think he's been around it since he was young, and you can definitely tell the details that he harps on. He's a very calm guy, but when he doesn't like something, he's for sure going to let you know.
And Chris has mentioned the yards after the catch in the system too. What allows that to kind of build, and how did you kind of notice that in Miami especially?
It's just preached. That's preached everywhere, but definitely in this offense because there's a lot of timing routes to it. So when you catch the ball, you definitely have to go get the yak, and it's plenty of yards after the catch because whoever's calling offense, they scheme it up pretty well. Where when you're usually catching the ball, you're pretty much wide open if you do your part. And yards after the catch, you try to score, so we don't have to call another play.
I heard Clint kind of talking about like when you're watching the film, you stop the film, look at the guys where they aren't maybe first, second corrected. He's kind of harping on you guys to. Like when I'm watching you all the time.
For sure. No, you have to run your. That's the thing. That's also another thing I learned in this offense. Because you're pretty much going to know if you're a second or third option, but you have to run your route to win. Because if you don't practice it, you're not going to be there when we need it. So for third, fourth in the progression, run your route to win, and when the ball comes to you, catch it because you probably need to check down.
Thank you,
Good to go. Hey, I appreciate y'all. Enjoy the weather.
All right, that's Cedric Wilson, man, smart brother. I want to see how Cedric Wilson doing the Saints offense, to be honest with you, fam. We often kind of look past Cedric Wilson because he's not as flashy as some of the other guys. And really, he's kind of the guy once Michael Thomas left was kind of brung in after the fact. And he's the veteran wide receiver that's supposed to step in there and kind of take that third spot, so to speak. And A.T. Perry is battling with Cedric Wilson, who's the veteran there. So it'll be interesting to see how he does because Cedric Wilson's a solid blocker. He runs decent routes and he catches what's thrown to him, so he's a solid guy, just not really flashy, but it's interesting, man. And big ups to you guys. Appreciate you guys for being here. Ramsey, much love. Who that to you as well. Appreciate you. Brother Byron said the no fly zone defense, number one defense in the National Football League. All right. Thank you, Brother Byron. Who that daddy says, if we look at what other recent safety contracts look like, if we're offering not than $6 million a year, that he should take it on a prove it deal. Hey, bro, you know what? While Cedric Wilson was talking, I was doing some research on that. Matter of fact, let me show you what I was looking at. This is an article right here from CBS Sports. This was done. What was it? Back in July. Yeah, middle July. This article was put up here. And it was talking about why is former Broncos star Justin Simmons still inside, plus the 5 best fits for the free agent. Of course, they missed on the Saints being a fit, but it does ask the question why, and it does give some answers comparative to what guys are making in the NFL. So let's just go over this, and this will be the last thing before we get ready to leave. We'll finalize the poll, and then we'll leave. All right, it says Adams recently resurfaced as the newest addition to the Tennessee Titans, Jamal Adams, that is, making the next chapter for a player once considered one of the NFL's best safeties. His deal was arguably just as notable for reigniting questions about fellow free agent. Why exactly is Justin Simmons still available? Released by the Broncos in a cost-cutting move in March, Simmons doesn't have the name recognition of Jamal Adams. He's also got the resume to back it up. He said he just doesn't just have the name. Just doesn't have the name, but he also has the resume to back it up. 2 years removed from the leading the NFL in interceptions, fresh off another Pro Bowl nod. He's easily one of the most accomplished veterans still unsigned. So why is he still seeking a new team? It's not for a lack of interest playing. Simmons has been open about wanting to know where I'm going. Arguably, he can be the missing piece for a contender, which means the only logical explanation for his unexpectedly slow market is the glaring discrepancy between his perceived and actual value to other teams. In simpler terms, As is often the case in big-name free agent negotiations, money is likely the culprit. Consider Brandon Ayuk saga in San Fran, where the emergent wide receiver has entertained trade offers while seeking a lucrative extension from the Niners. All indications that the 49ers want to keep him long-term. All indications are he wants to stay put long-term. Odds are they'll even stay together at least for 24. Yet there's no known movement on the contract front because of each side is entrenched in its own demands. Brandon Ayuk believes himself worthy of a top-tier receiver money, and the 49ers have a designated price point and a lot of lofty commitments to players like Christian McCaffrey and Deebo Samuel. With Simmons, it's not hard to connect similar dots. 3 years ago, the ex-Broncos standout signed a 4-year, $61 million contract extension, averaging $15.25 million per year. Since inking that deal, meanwhile, Simmons has only earned 3 straight All-Pro nods, 2 led the NFL in picks, averaging 4.6 interceptions per year, and 3 captioned 2 top 10 defense or captain. He still's offering a rough time. Let me make this stuff a little bigger here. Why I keep having here you go. There you go. All right. He says he's still offering roughly top 5 safety production. So it stands to reason he's been seeking something equivalent on the financial front. Here's the flip side. Simmons, who turns 31 in November, has missed multiple games due to injury in 2 straight seasons and hit the market alongside a deep crop of younger, cheaper counterparts whose ball hawking production has sometimes rivaled that of his own. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, who's 26, Jordan Fuller, who's 26, Geno Stone, who's 25, all enjoyed Pro Bowl caliber runs in recent years. All 3 settled for deals averaging no more than $9 million per year this spring. The 2 exceptions were Antoine Winfield Jr. and Xavier McKinney, who are 25 and 26 respectively. And we're coming off career years. Not a single safety over 30, in fact, currently averages even $10 million per year. The highest earner in that category is longtime Minnesota Vikings leader Harrison Smith, who's averaging $9 million per year on a renegotiated just 2 seasons after logging a career high 5 picks. Simmons is younger than Smith, of course, and he may be superior. NFL team spending speaks louder than words. Speaks louder than words at that position. However, defense value fresh legs at the back end of the secondary. So how soon Simmons and any rest party bridge the gap remains to be seen. So that's a part of it. Then it gives some teams, the Colts, Lions, Niners, and Ravens, Eagles, and all these guys as potential suitors. It didn't mention the same. Like I said, this was a article that was done in middle July before any of this popped up. And just to give credit where credit's due, shout out to John Hendricks, who was responsible for reporting the Simmons trade news. I mean, not the Simmons interest news, the Saints and the Simmons interest news before anybody else did. So shout out to John Hendricks. Let's get that straight, right? All right. So big ups to you guys. Appreciate y'all being in the building here. Let's go over some quick stuff before we get ready to kind of leave on up out of here. All right. Hold on. Let me get that there. Put that set up there. But yeah, that's just wanted to kind of give y'all a little info on that as well. All right. There you go. All right. Big ups to the rest of you guys for being here. What's up, Jamaica? Shout out to you, Queen. Good to see you in the building. Big ups to you. Hope everything is well. All right. Inevitable. What's up, Inevitable? Says AK is already, he said AK already signed the deal. Saints aren't going to allow no player to dictate to them what to pay. Honor your contract. AK should humble himself a bit. This is true. He's still under contract and he's being paid quite handsomely. That's why he's being a professional and is playing his deal out. He's not going to trip about it because if one way or the other, he's going to get his money, whether it's from the Saints or from anybody else. So if the Saints and him can't come together on a deal, then you know what happens. They don't have to complete that sentence. But yeah, he's like he said when he reported, I'm not a fool. I'm not gonna misfit what is $50,000 a day. 4 days is 200 G's? Nah, I don't. That's way too much money to be losing, and you getting paid to play. So you're absolutely right. Jamaica says, my understanding, signing Simmons doesn't have anything to do with whether or not AK gets an extension. No, it doesn't. But I'm just asking the question how should it be handled? Because if Alvin Kamara, who is obviously your best offensive piece, I'm just asking the question because the Saints ain't working with a lot of money. They're not supposed to be having big stinking contracts or whatever the case may be. But like people are saying about the Simmons deal, and that when I was researching the money and the contracts versus what others guys against, that article I just read to you guys makes several very valid points. And one of the big ones are when you look at the contract money for a Simmons, and you look at Harrison at $9 million. That probably would be what a smart agent would work back from. Well, listen, he's better than this guy, and this guy's making $9 million. We want 9.5 or whatever the case may be. I think probably realistically, it probably will fall between, and we'll see. But I don't know. That's what I was saying about Justin Simmons. Justin Simmons is a guy that likes his money. He's a good player. So it's a rate that he's going to ask the Saints for. And however the Saints handle it, that'll be on them. But there's definitely mutual interest. But Simmons wants his money. And I'm not talking $9 million. I'm pretty sure there's a happy medium somewhere in there, maybe between probably 6 or 7 million. I don't know if he goes for that. And maybe you incentivize. I don't know. But we'll see how it all goes one way or the other. But that's just a poll question to the family members in the chat about how, what do you think about that? All right. Thank you, Jamaica. Shout out to you and the rest of the fam. All right. Who that daddy says, great night. Thank you, fam. All right. Okay. In Dallas. Yes, sir. Shout out to you. Willie says realistically, he will get 6 to 7 million. That's what I'm thinking too, fam. After looking up some of that stuff there, I think you might be right on that. All right. So anyway, fam, listen, that's going to do it for the stream. I appreciate each and one of y'all for chiming in. Please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as well. Please feel free to share the show on your social media feed. This is good news for the Black and Gold. They had a solid day at camp. Justin Simmons had some dinner with him. We'll probably know something on this tomorrow. We're also getting more particulars on the upcoming practice situation that's supposed to occur with Arizona, whether it happened or not, as we're approaching the first preseason game that's happening on Saturday. So it's going to all be very interesting. English said, has Allen addressed who will start QB Saturday? His new offense starters needs rep. I know it won't be Carr because you might be like, but he mentioned in practice early on in the weeks, early on in the week about, we know Carr won't get in there, but you more than likely will see a lot of Hainer and Spencer Rattler. So I'm probably thinking it'll be Hainer first, and then you'll see Spencer Rattler in there, and they'll get the bulk of the reps, which is like I said, when they got rid of Nate Peterman prior to any preseason games action, a lot of those QB reps are going to be going to those two quarterbacks, man. So that's going to be a very lively competition watching Spencer and Jake battle it out in preseason. And like I said, if any one of these things occur where Spencer could very well leapfrog Jake Hainer. He can with a solid, outstanding performance. He could, but boy, the Saints have a lot of confidence in Jake Hainer. They really do. And both these guys, but really Jake Hainer, to feel comfortable enough to dump Peterman, who they were comfortable with as a veteran backup. Very interesting move by the Black and Gold going forward. So we're going to know more as it goes, man. We're going to know more. All right, Brian says, Carolina Panthers for the Patriots preseason. Not too much in the maybe a little scouting purposes. Jamaica says Simmons is 1 and Tyron's 5, and the takeaways maybe 1 year deal. Yeah, it's going to be a 1 year deal, probably anywhere between 6 to 7 million. Does he take it? I think that's a good deal for Justin Simmons to take. I think that's a good deal because it's the money and the fact that he wants to play for a team that got a chance. And he does know people on the staff. Like I was researching his connections. You heard what Will Harris was talking about, knowing him. And there's also coaches that's familiar with him, like our defensive coordinators familiar with him from his time. What was it in Denver when he played there, when he coached there? So Marcus Robinson, the secondary coach, has so it's people on here that knows who he is and what he can do. But, if the Saints are solid about competing, man, they would want to take care of AK-41 and do what they got to do, man. I mean, this is the case is too, also, as well as the Saints are trying to break the playoff snide. Getting players like this helps. And you get a Justin Simmons and you put him next to Tyrann Mathieu, that helps. That type of stuff helps. and you have the Super Bowl in your backyard, you know, the Saints might want to think about pushing some of them chips to the table this year and do what they can do, you know, as much as they can do, because it's really not 1 year, it's 2 years. To be honest with you, it's a 2-year situation, and it's predicated on your core players, Tyrann Mathieu, Taysom Hill, Demario Davis, Cam Jordan. Those guys, they're on 2-year deals remaining. So you got a 2-year window. And of course, this year, you know, they just looking to try to get into the playoffs. That's what Dennis Allen trying to do, trying to get into the playoffs and save his job so they can at least buy it. And if he gets them to the playoffs, you can see Mickey Loomis coming out and saying, we only offer Dennis Allen an extension. That's all he needs to get, an extension to keep this thing going. But with players like Simmons, it should definitely help. All right, Saints lead the way, says Haener has a weak arm, young rookie, Rattler all day. I know a lot of people like Rattler, bro, but Jake Haener ain't just get a weak arm. And Jake Haener doesn't have the biggest arm in the world, but Jake Haener is very cunning, man. That's what I be telling people. He's not the most athletic guy. He doesn't have the biggest arm, but some kind of way he got drafted by the Saints. It wasn't just because of Carr. He was going to get picked up by somebody. But Jake Haener turned out a lot of passing yards and touchdowns for Fresno State. He's not a bum. The dude is he got a high IQ, and he knows, like I said, not all these players that's in the NFL that are playing are that much athletically gifted. Some of them can move around. They're pretty basic, you know, just, you know, above, you know, maybe a couple of lines above, you know, normal or two. But where they excel is from the intellect perspective, knowing the game and cunningness. That's how guys like that do it. That's like Drew Brees. Drew Brees didn't have the biggest arm in the world, and he was a small quarterback. They say 6 feet. Drew was smaller than that. But Drew Brees, despite his size, despite his lack of arm talent, Drew Brees still was able to conquer a lot of the NFL books where you had bigger quarterbacks that had those gifts, the big arms and all that kind of stuff. How did he do it? High IQ and cunningness. That's how they did. That's a superpower. When some of these guys have this, that, and the third, they got the athletic gifts to go along, the God-given gifts, and some of these other guys are behind them in terms of the athletic gifts. They got the other gifts of cunning and high IQ. So, you know, like I said, don't ever downplay a cunning, high IQ player. We know Spencer has all of the intangibles. He has intelligence. He's just behind Jake Haener in terms of his experience. So he has to go through his learning curve just like Jake does. And I don't want to put too much on Spencer Rattler. Let him progress at his normal level. And when he's ready, you'll know. You'll know. All right. Anyway. Yeah, exactly. Backwoods. He says Haener's accurate. That's a superpower. That's what he does. He studied Drew game too. He used to wear his thing. Man, unmodeling himself after Drew Brees. Drew Brees had inspired a generation of undersized small arm quarterbacks. You know, they can make the passes. They just don't have the Derek Carr bomb arm, you know, throw the ball 50 plus yards down the field or whatever the case may be. But he piled up a crap ton of yards. He know where to place the ball. If you watch a lot of the practices, he knows about ball placement. He know where to put it at, know how to throw guys open. That's a part of it. You know, you don't put the ball on him. You remember Drew used to teach you that. Drew was telling you you throw it to a spot and lead the wide receiver there. So if he doesn't get it, nobody else gets it. You don't put it, you see what I'm saying? You don't put it between him and the DB. You got to know how to lead the receiver. That's stuff that Jake Haener picks up. If you watch the practice footage, he's been making some really good, accurate throws, especially on the sideline. Then he moving out on the run. He's improving his ability to throw on the run as well. So it's a lot of stuff that I like about Jake Haener. But remember, I'm patient enough because we got Spencer Rattler here for a while. I'm patient enough to let Spencer develop like we let Jake Haener develop. It's we don't want to put too much on him. All right, Brian says, Q, do you know if Michael Thomas he's not signed with anybody, bro. He's still not signed with anybody. All right, 504 Tyler Heineke. I ain't gonna say that, bro. I ain't gonna say that about the man. We'll see, man. All right. Corvatus says Underhill said don't expect it. No, this is he said that Josina Anderson has said that. So yeah, you're not probably gonna hear anything until tomorrow on this if it's a signing. So don't get your hopes up yet, fam, because he could very well just be the first guide or the first team that he's talking to is the Saints, and he might go and talk to several other teams to make a decision. We don't know how the process is going to work. You might want to mull it over. You know, it's several things that can go on. Yeah, Rattler can become a Pro Bowl. This is I agree with. All right, so anyway, man, we're going to get out on that. Listen, I appreciate you guys for chiming in. Please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I know it's getting a little late, but I'm going to holler at, I'm going to jump on my guy Hoodie Jube's podcast. So y'all want to, when Hoodie goes live, y'all feel free to come on over and join me on Hoodie's podcast. I know it's late, but I'm going to go talk to old Hoodie on his stream, man. And we're going to talk a little bit more football. So when I get off here, y'all please feel free to look up Hoodie and join us for some more late talk about the black and gold. So with that being said, I'm gonna get out of here, man. I appreciate y'all so kindly, man. I'm gonna holler at y'all tomorrow. Much love and who that to you.
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, probably like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. It's the sports coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
WhoThatDaily.com. That's right, the WhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, and even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, WhoThatDaily.com is your site. The WhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro